Yeah.
All right. No, Charles, I was just teasing you. So, in the social cognitive theory, there's something that I find very interesting, and that is self-efficacy. I can feel the energy on this call. So exciting to individuals who are doctors, who are professors, who are investors. And so, if any of us here felt like we cannot achieve or accomplish, we have those people here that have done it. And that gives you the motivation and the impetus to say that I can do it as well. You can achieve, you can succeed. I'm excited and thank you so much for this forum. This is going to be exciting. We're going to have fun listening together. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Doc. We're really grateful. I picked up, hey guys, I hope you are taking notes, right? I picked up a few nuggets from this. Are you guys there? If you are there, let's see some reactions in the space, right? So our mentors know that they are sharing some good nuggets with you. If you have any questions, you can put it in the chat. We'll come to the questions. We want our mentors to point to us first, then we'll come to questions. Um, but if this is valuable to you, I want you to reach out to someone who is not on here, send them the link and ask them to join. We still have about an hour to go. Invite your friend, your best friend, your girlfriend, your spouse, your partner, so they can come sit here and be able to listen and get some good information. Now, I'm excited to introduce and bring on our last mentor for the evening, um, Ed. Um, Ed is in his 70s and he's a um, very accomplished person in his career and everything. And he's also big on mentorship. So I'm very excited that he comes here to share his knowledge and experiences with you guys. So Ed, take it over.
Okay, so I'm going to share my screen because I give you quite a hard time, Charles, trying to understand what my role is going to be in this event. And so I was bugging Charles like crazy, saying, "Well, who's what you're trying to get me to do?" And he kept making sure that he gave me the right information. So what I prepared today is for the audience of the young folks in the room. But let me share my screen
You do
first.
have permission to share, so go ahead.
Yeah, I will. Let me just get there and share. Okay. Can you see that?
Yes, we can.
Perfect. Perfect. Okay. Let me just kind of set things up on my end. Okay. All right. So for me, it's been an awesome blessing to be at age 70, and God has given me 70, which is exactly what he promised us for those of us who are attached to our faith. I think when you get here, though, he doesn't expect you to cruise. He expects you to give even more because the window of departing becomes much sooner. I thank God for the energy that I have. I will continue to have until I go. I think the opportunity to spend time here today is so important to the folks that are on this call. I want to tell all the young folks on this call that I am here to learn from you. And I'm a big believer of reverse mentorship. And that attracted me to this call when I found out that this was all about intergenerational wealth, right? So if you look at my first screen here, you'll see my motto. My motto changes every 10, 15 years based on experience. And so this is my current motto. It says, my purpose is not to survive, it's to strive. Of course, 25 years ago, that was not my motto. My motto was to survive. When I came here in 1979, so I've been here 47 years, lived in Canada for a little bit as well. As Kwame mentioned, I lived there for over 2 years. But when I got here, a lot of my colleagues, and by the way, I'm from a country called Guyana, which most of you guys know, almost sound like Ghana. And quite a few times when I'm in spaces, people say to me, you're from Africa, aren't you? I said, well, it depends on how you ask the question. Yes. Where were you born? I said, I was born in Guyana. I said, Ghana. I said, no, in Guyana. It's the only English-speaking South American country. And so it always turned into a laugh. But when I came here, I had friends who were here before me, and I came with a sense of pride, a sense of belonging. And so what I didn't do then was I listened to, you come to America and you see all the glitter and gold, and you see the clubs, and you see the clothes, and you see it all. And so rather than coming immediately with the drive to strive, I kind of did some things where I just survived. I work in retail, just kind of having a good time, and start realizing that no. You're here to strive, not to survive. The second one is knowledge and wisdom should not be in conflict. Why am I saying this? When I was in my 30s, 40s, 50s, I thought that I knew it. I got it together. I had a lot of mentors that spoke to me earlier, but I had knowledge, but I didn't have wisdom, which means it hampered me for a while. I remember traveling on the train in New York City where I was always well dressed because my father taught us how to present and carry ourselves and show up. I always knew that, but I remember being on the train one day reading the Wall Street Journal. I did not know how to read the Wall Street Journal. I was just pretending like I knew the world to read the Wall Street Journal. And one day I decided, this guy said to me, what do you think about a market? And I said, well, like any other financial market, some days is up, some days is down. And then I realized I needed to say to him, to be honest with you, that was a joke. I said, I really don't know much about reading the Wall Street Journal. And so I started to understand that wisdom, hanging out with wisdom is very important. The last one is embracing intergenerational knowledge, maximizes wealth and legacy. At my age, in my 30s and 40s, I believed in it, but I believe in maximizing my wealth, not my legacy. So we're going to switch gears from here. Just want to keep that in mind, right? Purpose is not to survive. Knowledge and wisdom should not be in conflict. You should be working together. And embracing intergenerational knowledge maximizes wealth and legacy. So that's my motto at age 70. It was not this at age 50 or age 40 at all. Okay, here we go. Now, when you look here, you'll see, let me put on my little laser pointer. So this is all of us coming to our country, from our countries to America. We come as a free agent, as I call it. You're a free agent and you show up. And when you show up, you bring with you your brand and identity, whatever that is, from Congo, Australia, wherever it is, you bring that with you. But the question you have to ask yourself is, now that I'm coming here to this country, remember, you're an agent, meaning I know what I need to do when I get here. I don't need anyone else. I am the agent. And you come here and you try to figure out, what is your role? Am I going to be a contributor? Because all a contributor does offer value and input. Or are you, over time, become a decision maker that has the power to make informed decisions? Now, let me go back. As I was doing this PowerPoint, I remember this word power, I don't really like it. I don't like it. This word should be decision maker, has the influence to make informed decisions. So even as I put together this PowerPoint and I'm going through it, my spirit within me, my Christian spirit is saying to me, yes, power, everybody understand what power means, but we understand this power could really get us into trouble, right? So I'm going to move this word and I'm going to say, instead of power, you're coming here with the influence to make informed decisions. Once you've decided that, you start to encounter some problems. You start to encounter problems where you start to experience some level of discrimination, or you feel some level of oppression, or you feel marginalized. Maybe you're working so hard you feel like you're being exploited, or you're being disenfranchised. So the question is, especially to the younger audience out there, and if you can go into the chat, I would like to know, my question is, what is your target of choice? Do you like being discriminated? You like being oppressed, marginalized, exploited, disenfranchised? Which one of these would you take? I'd like to see in the chat. Is there any one of these that you would say, that's my target of choice? And I can't really see what's going on in the chat. So for the folks out there, are folks responding in the chat? Are you guys there?
So yes, Ed, they are responding. There's a lot of none. No,
Well,
no, they don't want any of it.
perfect.
And there's a question,
Perfect.
is none an option? But
Perfect.
everybody else is saying none.
That's right. Okay. So no, we don't want any of this. So what do we do in this case? Let me move to the next slide. 1 second. Then that depends on how you show up. We've all come from foreign countries, and we talk a lot about coming as immigrants, but sometimes we come as foreigners, and you should be able to differentiate the difference between a foreigner and an immigrant. We don't have the time on this particular series of work, but in a nutshell, a foreigner comes, spends some time, enjoy, goes back to his home country. An immigrant comes with one purpose. He comes to become a citizen in the country, this new country he comes to. Based on those two things, you're going to be treated very, very, very differently. But how do you show up? Your dress, your attire, how do you present yourself? Those are very important questions. How do you see yourself versus how you see others? As a foreigner, as an immigrant of color, what's that experience like? Are you taking time to learn? And do you understand your identity? When I came here, I remembered working in the banking industry. If you notice, I haven't spoken a lot about my background, not important. At this stage of the game, not important. But what I learned very quickly was when you come to America, you observe the game, the rules, and the process. Number two, you play, you participate in the game. And then finally, you change the rules. But it requires you taking the time to learn. Very important. Again, I'm just going to go through these slides very quickly because we don't have a lot of time. I prepared this because I was really gussed about getting this done. I'm going to go back because we're going to have a break or breakout room for a little bit. A few other things I want to mention in terms of being an immigrant in America. My father told me when I was 6 years old, he said, you're a Guyanese, but remember this, God created you for one purpose and one purpose only. Mom and I had one job to do, was to commit to marriage and then having the opportunity to procreate. And now we have you. and 5 other siblings. He said, but more importantly, God created you to explore the earth. To Kwame's point, you weren't born to stay in the country of birth. You were born to explore God's earth. And when you come to a country like America, it's going to be further away from the country of origin, which means now you can go to other parts of the world. Otherwise, you end up staying in a place that you're comfortable, which is very dangerous. I think also for me, I'll give you a quick scenario, very quick. Imagine yourself as a young manager and you're the head of HR, and there is a situation where people of color in the community are failing the banking entry test miserably, miserably. And so as a result of that, other races are getting into the banking industry. And I was the head of HR at that point in time. And I remember, again, being an immigrant, not understanding who I was in this new setting, coming from a country, of course, Guyana has 6 races, unlike most of you where you have different tribes, but color of skin is the same. And so when I came, I had to make some decisions in banking. My leadership team, African American and an Indian person, came into my office and said, look, we found out a big problem is happening in our organization. We have an executive vice president who has great connections with one of the leading agencies in New York. And we've investigated, and there have been over 600 employees who have never took the tests that a bank has assigned, and they're now all permanent. We're coming here because we want to present to you a class action suit. Now, I'm saying this in the context of coming here, learning, understanding, and then changing the rules. So I remember saying to them, what are you trying to accomplish? They said, we have enough evidence to file a lawsuit against the senior levels in this organization. And I said, what are you trying to accomplish? And I remember them saying to me, and these are people that live in America, you are an Uncle Tom. We knew you were an Uncle Tom. Now, I smiled. I said, I would like you to do an assignment. I would like you to take these 200 employees that you said didn't take the test into the company and bring their performance reviews for the past 5 years. If you want to make change, you have to do the work. They didn't want to do it, but they ended up bringing all of that information back to me. And I said to them, now, what do you see? And they could not figure it out. I said, what do you see? 250 employees came to an organization without taking the test. Their reviews, their employment reviews showed not only they were meeting the threshold, but they're all performing above and beyond average. I said to them, what does that tell you? They still did not get it. I said, you're looking at creating a situation of law to get money. If the employees of color are failing the tests, these individuals did not take the tests, but are performing above an average. What are you trying to accomplish? I asked that question a third time. They still did not get it. I said, okay, we do not need the tests. We don't. The test was a barrier that was preventing people of color to excel in the banking industry. And so we removed that test. What am I saying to you, young people in the room today? I'm saying to you, you come in to the business You observe the game, understand the rules, understand the process. You play, you participate in the game, and then you change the rules. I was able to change the rules, right? So remember, everything you do, you have to focus on self. And I don't have a lot of time. We're going to have many more opportunities to come back and to get into really get into this. But you have to know who you are. You're going to have to make some changes along the way, but it's important to know who you are. A lot of times we don't know who we are. Or when you come to America, you think you know who you are based on what people tell you you are. Ed, you're such an extrovert. You in those staff meetings, man, you speak up. That's what they're telling you. But now you're going based on what they tell you versus who you are. You have to know who you are. And when we get to the breakout sessions, there's tons of questions I have there that we can get into this much deeper. But I thank you for your time.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Thank you so much, Ed. This is so exciting. I'm really grateful, and I'm sure there are 41 or 36 or so people here are also really grateful to you for your time and all the knowledge and all the experience that you are sharing with us. Hey guys, can we show some better appreciation? Any emojis, comments, anything in the chat? Just to encourage our mentors that we really appreciate them being here. Just me alone saying it is not enough, right? I picked up a lot of things. His motto is to what? To thrive but not survive. I see a lot of us coming here and we just survive. We just survive. We just survive. But is it because that's how we've been programmed? Is it because we don't know that we can thrive? So I'm really happy you are hearing this from someone who has been here so long and has all the experience. Also, how do you show up? I feel like that is really important, right? And then you have to know who you are. You have to know who you are. That is the basis, and I'm really grateful to hear this. At this point, I want to introduce our other co-founders. This is not just me doing this. I had some great support from some two awesome gentlemen. They've been slaving day and night to put this together. Just so you know, this decade's program is part of the Immigrant Success Center, which is here to help you do well on your journey, right? Yes, Atu, thank you so much. Happiness is in the journey. Great nuggets. Thank you guys for the comments. So, part of what we do at the Immigrant Success Center is to help immigrants be successful. There's a lot of knowledge that people have accumulated that if you can get access to it. Can I use your iPad? No, please. If you can get access to it, it will do you a lot of good. So I'm really glad you're all here, and I'm very glad to introduce my two co-founders. They've done marvelous and awesome work. I'm gonna spotlight Daniel. Daniel, you have just 2 minutes. We are running behind time, so you have just 2 minutes to say a few words, and we'll go from there.
2 minutes is enough. Honestly, yeah, great stuff, guys. And yeah, I've known Charles for almost 2 decades now. We grew up in Ghana, but yeah, he approached me, shared his dreams, like, yeah, why not? Right. So that's why we're doing this. And we are very glad to have you guys all here and great mentorship, great guys as well. So we look forward to meet you guys, and we hope you guys join the community as well. We have the link in the community, I mean in the chat, so you guys can join the community. But yeah, welcome
Daniel,
everyone.
do you mind putting it in the chat again? Next, I'm gonna introduce Ato or John. John Apia is also one of the co-founders. I'm gonna spotlight him. And hey, John, can you say something so I can find you and be able to spotlight you? I'm not sure how I can do that. I'm trying to. Okay, I see you. Um, oh, since you don't have your camera on, I may not be able to spotlight you. But yeah, John is maybe in the future he might be able to join us on camera. He's actually at work now, but he's joined in and listening. So we are very grateful to be able to organize this, but I really want to appreciate all of you who are here, because if you didn't show up, this wouldn't be a success. So I'm really glad to see all of you here. Hey, can I say that you put in the chat what is standing out to you the most about all the four speakers and what they shared? I hope you are picking up some nuggets and going. So at this time, we are going to open the floor for about 10 minutes to do questions to the whole panel. You can raise up your hand if you have any questions to any of them or to all of them. It's totally allowable. And you can ask your questions for just about 10 minutes, and then we'll move into the breakout room for another 30, 40 minutes. And then we are going to come back and put everything together and close for the day. I also want to tell you that we'll do this once every month. So this is the first one, and I think it's going great. I love that 39. We weren't sure anybody would show up, but I'm glad that 39 or 34 or something of you, when we take out the mentors, are here. If you join the community, we'll give you the chance to tell us what you want the mentors to talk about. So if you have situations with family life that you want to learn more about, religion, how to keep your faith, like Prof. Kwame said, you can guide the direction of these discussions so that it's more valuable to you. We want you to get a full benefit of this. So join the community to learn about these programs and when we are doing them. In April, our first one might be in the first weekend of April, but stay tuned. We are going to communicate it as much as we can, and hopefully you can get to hear about it and also attend. Do we have any questions? Anybody with any questions? I have a few questions, but I'll let people ask questions first. If you have a question, feel free to unmute yourself, and you can ask your questions. Anybody? So let me start with the questions. Maybe by the time I'm done, someone else will have another question. So I'll throw this out to all the mentors, right? What is the biggest thing that determines an immigrant's success in the US? Any of you can take it. Any of our mentors?
Yeah, I mean, I think we said it quite a few times, is staying true to yourself. You bring very important things with you. You just have to know when to use them. You don't come here, and Kwame said it, you come here, but your values don't change while you're here. There's some things within the culture, the way that you operate within the culture of the organization you're in. It could be one where there is more homogeneous employees versus heterogeneous employees. It could be a situation where, in my first slide, if you notice, I actually had everything interconnected. So you have to learn to be interconnected. If you're coming to America and you've just been around one race, you already have to start adjusting, because it doesn't work like that. So you have to understand the power of interconnectivity, and then also understand that you can be working with people from various parts of the world, and your success is not competing, it's completing. So when I go into a room with a team of people that don't look like me, I'm not here to compete. I'm saying I'm a heterogeneous guy. I'm here to add value. If you're very American, you're going to get, like promise is a trap. You're going to be competing, and that's not going to get you anywhere very far.
Yeah, so
Thank you.
I'll add to that. First of all, you have to ask yourself, what is success?
Hmm?
If you do not know what success means to you, so when it comes to that competition, you don't compete with anybody, you compete with yourself. Okay? So come understanding what you want to achieve. And if you understand that, then you can set yourself the goals to do things. You know, when you manage individuals or organization, to be successful, you have to also understand what your boss thinks is successful. I had a boss one time that all that he thought was most important wasn't the money that I was bringing in, the billions of dollars and contracts that I was signing, but that I will give him a weekly report. That weekly report was so important to him. That's what he based all of the achievement of his employees. Why? Because when he goes to the board meeting, because he has that weekly report, he sounds very much like he is in the know. He presents the information to the leadership and tells them what this person is doing, what that person is doing. And the beautiful thing about him was he was not taking the credit, but saying, look at all the great people that I have in my team and the things that they are doing to help this company move forward. He thought that was the biggest thing that any of his employees could do for him was to give him weekly report. If you don't understand that, you'll be fighting the wrong fight, or you will have your ladder on the wrong wall and be climbing and reach a destination that is not where you need to be. So understand that. What is success? What do your managers perceive as success? And then work yourself in that sphere. But most importantly, don't compete with anybody, compete with yourself.
Excellent, excellent, Doc. Thank you so much. I'll throw it to Kwame Amwa and Prof. Kwame too, real quick. And then afterwards, I'm gonna ask for a book recommendation from each of you mentors. Right? As you guys know, I'm someone who loves to read a lot and I learn a lot from books. Right? So be thinking about the books, but I'll let Kwame respond on what he thinks is the biggest thing to success. And then we'll let Prof. Kwame also go.
Thank you so much again. Great wisdom and insight from my elders here. If there's one thing I would add to what has already been said, I would say to find out what our purpose is. A lot of times we swing from one tree to the other, just trying to follow the crowd and also to do things that we have no strength in. We end up maximizing averages instead of maximizing strength. By God's ordained design, from creation till the time we depart, our assignment, and it's the hardest, is to rediscover who we truly are, why He placed us here, and what His assignment for us is. And until we discover who we truly are, we will not find contentment. We will not find happiness because we are not fulfilling the original mandate for which He placed us here for. So if we still do not know what we are about, I will highly encourage us to be prayerful about that and to lean in more and to discover what really our purpose is here. I think that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kwame. Over to you, Prof.
No, I think what I was going to say has already been said. Actually, I was thinking what Kwame Amwaj said is what I was going to add. I will say, though, something I've learned that can be a detractor to not so much what defines success is it's a big trap to use discrimination and racism as an excuse not to do things. It's very easy to say, I didn't get that opportunity because I'm Black and all this or that. I've told many of you that I've mentored about this study when I was in Canada. It was actually a Ghanaian faculty member who did this research for West African immigrants and and the things he looked at, professional career outcomes, educational outcomes, economic outcomes, were better than the first generation West African immigrants. They had the most. Their children were better. By the time it got to their grandchildren, the outcomes were the same as people born in Canada, Black people born in Canada. So think about it. The first generation immigrants come in, they do better than Canadians. Their children do better. By their grandchildren, the outcomes are the same. And the fundamental thing he found out was in most cases, by the time you get to their grandchildren, they think they're barriers against them, and so they don't try as hard. So the first ones that come in believe that they can do anything. By the time they get to their grandchildren, they don't believe as much that they can accomplish anything. So professionally, I think Kwame was spot on about the deeper thing is what is God trying to accomplish with you. But if you're talking about professional um, accomplishment, you have to believe you have a shot. Otherwise, you are not going to even start. So I'll keep it short then.
Yeah, that comes to self-efficacy. So if they don't see it continue on, that's when they believe that they cannot accomplish. And we limit ourselves as um, we put those barriers on ourselves. Okay. And I'm not talking about being naive, but we really need to understand. Somebody had asked the question, do your accents cause you problems in your progress? And I said, when I get into a meeting, the first thing I talk about is, guys, I might have the strongest accent in this room. Yet I would like to invite you to listen to the message that I've got to share with you, because that's what is going to drive this business forward. Okay, so you set the stage, always going, understanding what others might be perceiving of you, and strategically position yourself to win. I moved to Japan. I was there doing an expert work with the Japanese. The first day that I got there, I'm living in an area where I'm paying quite a bit of money. Minamiyazabu, very expensive place. And the guy comes to give me the keys to my building. And I'm standing there with my wife. By the way, my wife is a Caucasian. She's an American. And then he goes to hand the key over to my wife. My wife looks at him and said, no, no, no. I am not the owner of this place. This is my husband. He's the one that needs to receive the keys. Okay. So there are all these culture stuff. Now, at that time, what would I have done? Tell him that, oh my goodness, I'm not going to rent this $12,000 a month place and blah, blah, blah. No, 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 no. I took the key and I ushered the young man in and I said, I need you to clean this place, do this, do that, do that. Just moved on. Okay. So we need to work within the system. And to work within the system, we have to have, Ed, you said knowledge or wisdom?
Wisdom.
Wisdom.
Okay.
Wisdom.
Use all the talents that you have in this environment that we're in and work it out. I mean, I walk in, I say, hey guys, I'm the only Black guy in here. Perhaps you haven't seen a Black person before. Don't let this worry you. We're going to talk business. And we move on. One will say, oh, but why are you always setting them at ease? No, I'm not setting them at ease. I'm using my strategic terms in going into the business, because every conversation, think of it as you being the CEO of yourself going in to win a business. And what do you need to do to win the business? You have to have a strategy. You have to know what people perceive as valuable. And then you go in with mutual respect and mutual benefit. We can always win. And we can have a win-win situation. Let us not be afraid to really stand up for what we believe in. And you can only do that when you know who you are and what you stand for.
Thank you. Hey, Ed, I saw you wanted to say something. Maybe we'll give you 1 or 2 minutes to say
No,
it, and
no,
then
I
we'll
think
move on.
I think I think it's already been said. We come with accents and we feel that we're inferior. The accent is never a problem. Every person has an accent. As a matter of fact, more importantly, living in the United States, I'm in the South now, live here in North Carolina. And when somebody said to me, you have an accent. And so you come back and says, yeah, I do. You have one as well. You're from the South, right? More importantly, it's not the accent. You have to have, attain, and acquire strong communication skills. What is strong communication skills? Diction, articulation, voice projection. That's it. Everyone in this room have an accent, but we can understand each other. Why? Because we're using diction, voice projection, the communication skill, presentation skills. You learn that skill and you're good. Let's keep moving.
Can I
Excellent.
add a personal
Go
story?
ahead.
So I think it more has to do with complex. But thank you, Ed, and thank you, Dr. Appiah. I remember my first semester in college, fresh off the boat, in a math class, and Americans are groomed to be confident naturally. So here I was sitting in class, and I thought I was not doing so great because I was afraid to speak up. So a few weeks go by, and the instructor comes to the front of the class and says, "Okay, so some of you are really struggling, and I really encourage you all to form a study group. Kwame over here is doing great; he's acing it." And I was surprised just by the remarks. So then it taught me something that even though these people are so confident, we know, I wouldn't say we, what we have is more valuable. So if we are bringing value to the table, if we are bold enough to overcome that complex, there's certainly something that we have to give, and it goes a long way. So thank you for the time to share this.
Wow, excellent, excellent. Hey guys, are you getting some good value? I see in the comments someone saying great lessons. Thank you. Mentors, they are really appreciative of your time today. Emmanuel is asking, how do you connect with the mentors? So the mentors are all going to be on the Immigrant Success Center. I'll just caution that these are busy people. Okay. So yes, you can reach out to them, but make sure it's legitimate, right? Also make sure you're not over wasting their time. I'm saying that word cautiously because I know they are busy. And even though we want you to connect with them, we also want it to be useful time for you and also for them, right? So thank you guys so much. I think right about now we are gonna go into the breakout rooms. Daniel is ready. You're gonna see the name and the age range. So just feel free to join whichever one you want. And we just engage. So at that point, you can ask questions and we go from there. Daniel, if you're ready, you can launch it. So we'll come back maybe 20 minutes to the top of the hour, and then we wrap it up, and we'll make some closing comments. So Daniel, we're good to go. Okay, so I think if you go to, you should be able to see the 4 rooms, and you can choose which room you wanna jump onto.
Okay. How are we looking, Charles?
Yeah, I think we're looking good. Um,
Okay. Let's see.
Wow, wow, wow. I am so excited for today. I hope these sessions were valuable to all of you. Um, we are just gonna round up and do a quick summary. We'll go around the room and have some quick summaries, and then maybe we might close for the day. So we'll start with Kwame Amwa. Any closing thoughts and comments?
Yes, I will say thank you so much. I am uplifted. I am edified being amongst you all. It's all about learning, and I have learned so much from all of us today. I think if I were to close with something, I would say uh, be connected spiritually, because out of our connection with God is where everything else flows. So be sure that you are spiritually connected on a daily basis so that you receive direction in which way to go. So I love you all. I'm glad to be a part of this. I look forward to our next session. God bless.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Kwame. Prof. Kwame.
This was a lot of fun, and I enjoyed interacting with all of those. I mean, on this forum and as well as those that came to the my breakout room. Um, in some ways, it was interesting hearing some of the concerns, which were the same concerns I have had before. And I would say that's the that's the strength in mentoring is hopefully your mentor has been through or there's someone that has been through what you're dealing with. So seek out wisdom. Seek wisdom from God because He's the ultimate giver of wisdom, but seek wisdom from people around you too. So, because God's answer might actually be a mentor speaking truth into your life. And do not be too anxious. We are told in scripture not to be anxious. God will work things out for us.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Prof. I know it sounds easy to hear, right? And if you're anxious and someone just says don't be anxious, right? But I can also tell you that that is the truth. Sometimes I look at things that I was anxious about that we navigated, and you're like, oh, I didn't need to be anxious about them. So
Yep.
over to you, Dr. Apia. Any final words and comments?
Yeah, you had mentioned books that you recommend that we read. I
Yeah.
think True North is very good, and also Self-Deception. It's another good book. Um,
Who is
but
the author, please?
what I'll say is thank you all for being here. As we were engaged in conversations, I kept learning that there are challenges out there that we all need to become aware of. Yes. And let's keep on going. I also will say that if you want to connect with me on LinkedIn, you are welcome to do that. I have already accepted a few of you guys that have sent invitation to me. So doesn't matter what age group, I'm happy to visit and we can talk. So enjoy yourself and have a blessed day.
Thank you so much, Doc. We are really grateful. So, Kwame Amwa and Prof. Kwame, I'll come back to you for your book recommendations, and then we'll go finally to Ed. But I'm putting the titles and the authors in the chat, so feel free to grab those details. And these are really great books, so it will be worth your. Dr. Pia, is it Leadership and Self-Deception, right? By the Abinger Institute?
That is correct.
Okay.
Leadership and self-deception. Now, these books are really important for self-evaluation. When you're on this journey to come to know yourself, to come to know your purpose, it gives you some insights as to what you can do for yourself.
Thank you. So, Prof. Kwame, any book recommendations?
Yeah, I'm just going to put it in the chat. This book, Good to Great, is one that, from a professional standpoint, has it talks more about how companies are managed, but I think it gives you a lot of leadership insight as well. I put a link to the Amazon book in the chat.
Okay, thank you so much. Someone is saying they shared the link with someone in Canada and the person couldn't join. Is it only for US? I don't know if my settings have been set up that way, but I will check and possibly correct it. So next time, invite them and hopefully they will be able to join, but I'll look into it. Thank you so much, Prof. Kwame. Good to Grade by Jim Collins. Yes, I think I even have it here. All right. Okay, Kwame.
Yeah, so one thing I noticed is we talk the talk, but a lot of times we don't do what's required. First, our Bibles. Let's read our Bibles. Brush off the dust and immerse yourself into it. The second book I would recommend, actually any book by my mentor and coach, Dr. John Maxwell, 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. That's a really good book to help you develop your leadership skills, because we are first and foremost lead ourselves before we can lead others. So any book by Dr. John Maxwell is a great book to read. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much. So now it's your turn, Ed. Your final words and then a book recommendation so people could read and learn more. You're muted, Ed.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah. I should know better. I actually walk when I do presentations. I have my you're on mute cup. So for me, real quickly, this was exciting. My breakout room, they talked a lot about balancing family and work in the United States. They also asked questions about how do I fit in? And they also talked a lot about resume protocols. So we spent a lot of time talking about those things. Because I am not from an African continent, I'm from Guyana. This was also I learned a lot as well just listening to all of the presenters because, again, I'm not from your continent in terms of birth. I learned a lot from everyone on this panel. I hope to do more with you. In terms of the younger folks on the phone, on the call, what I thought was very interesting. One person said that he came here and, he would go into spaces and he was in one space where they were all talking about what they did and what they accomplished and what schools they went to. And he went just down like, hey, how do I add to this? And I said to him, remember when I started the presentation, my father said, when you walk into a room, if superiority smells inferiority, he would have it for dinner. So whenever you're in a conversation again, and people want to talk about their glory, I was in a situation too. You go around the room, I went to Harvard, I went to Spelman, and now it comes to you. What the heck do you say? I have not gone to any of these colleges. And I said to the participant, oh, you have a lot to say. I know for one thing, but Africa, if nothing, I don't know. Africa's produced self-made businessmen. You have to understand the power of that. So you come and you say, oh, guys, this is great. This is great. You guys went to all these great academic institutions. That's not where my father led me. He led me to be an independent businessman. We own acres of land. We actually feed X.4 of the population. Our data last year showed us that our farming has now gone cross-continental. That's the power that you have as an immigrant when you walk into the room. I've also given them my LinkedIn and my email number because what I have in this room that nobody has. I'm 70. I have the time. This is not about money, past that. What I heard today was a bunch of wonderful, sharp individuals who have come to America, and what they're struggling with is to fit in, is to realize that they've come with a power from within, and we need to help them how to actually take that to the next level. So that's my takeaway in terms of books. My brother just said the Bible. That's number one. If you're not spending time in that, then you are not going to sustain your seasons and your journeys. So that's number one. The Bible can tell you everything, how to save money, everything is there. We know it's a new generation. I have The Power of Servant Leadership by Robert Greenleaf. I really love it because, again, it's you're not the boss, you're the leader. And what does that look like? Voice of America teaches you you're the boss, you're the manager. It will help you stay very servant leader in your goal. And then I believe the other part of America is not only you have to be a powerful servant leader, but you also have to be a great influencer. And that is New York Best Time Seller, Crucial Conversations. Influencer, The Power to Change Anything by Kerry Patterson would be my recommendations.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Thank you so much, all you mentors, for all this wisdom pouring into us. We are so grateful. Again, if you want to connect with the mentors, reach out to them on LinkedIn. They all have profiles. Just search their names and just connect. And when you connect, just say, hey, I joined the session last week or yesterday, and I'd love to connect with you. I'm sure they'll accept your connections, and you can explore these conversations going forward, right? I believe we are starting something that could be powerful, and we just got to keep going and keep pushing it. If you have any recommendations of mentors who could be here to help, that would be excellent. And if you have any topics that you want us to discuss, family life, religion, Bible, real estate. We got a lot of interest about real estate, entrepreneurship. Dr. Apia started a consulting business. If you have questions about those, we want this to be guided by you. We want it to be valuable to you. So it's not us bringing topics that we want. We want you to direct the conversation. What is that biggest thing, right? Dr. Apia said he's married to a Caucasian. What are some of the things to think about and know if you're in a relationship like that? The cultures that clash, how do you keep your relationship with all those things going on? So I'm really excited and really glad that all of you are here. We don't want to take too much of your time. It's been a wonderful session. We are going to end it here with much appreciation to our 4 mentors. So please, in the chat, just show your appreciation, whether by emojis. Let's fill the room with emojis and your comments of appreciation so that they'll be emboldened to come share again with us the next time. The next one will be in April. It might be in the first week, but we'll plan it. If you join the community, you are going to have access to all this information so that when the programs are happening, you get to learn about it. Don't worry, you can join for free. The Decades Mentorship is free. So you join the community, you're able to be exposed to all these things going forward. But thank you guys all so much for attending, for coming. Yes, Ed, go ahead.
Are we going to have the opportunity for the attendees to give us feedback on 2 things?
Absolutely.
What went well today in terms of format, in terms of subject matter, but more importantly, what can we do differently as well? I think all my colleagues would agree with that. We need that feedback. Sometimes we miss that. And I think the fact we're doing this first time out, if we can get their feedback quickly, then we'll be able to self-correct and make sure they're getting what they need.
Excellent. Yeah, so over to you, mentees. Can you give us some feedback? What went right? What we can do differently in terms of the topics discussed, even the formats, right?
Mhm.
The breakout rooms, were they necessary? Was the time enough? Was it not enough? Share your feedback so it will guide the subsequent ones.
Yeah.
Anybody, any takers?
They also can get my PowerPoint. I'll be sending to you. You can share it with the group, please.
Excellent. I'll share that. Any takers?
Come on, guys. Come on, guys. We need your feedback.
Yeah, Charles, I can go.
Go ahead, Dr. Bruno. Then afterwards, I heard someone also wanted to talk.
Look, to me, the breakout rooms was very, very great. We got to go a bit more into personal conversations on our personal struggles, and our mentors were able to share a bit more personal stories that were very practical and can guide us through some of the things that we are going through that they had already gone through. So I really think that the breakout rooms should be encouraged. If I could, I would say probably increase the time for the breakout rooms so that we can engage more, even if it means a little less on the generic discussions, because people were more free to talk in the breakout rooms, at least from the one that I attended.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Dr. Bruno. Josh, I see your hand up. Go ahead.
I think overall it was good. I joined a little late. I saw the the meeting invite on Bruno's status, and I joined. But yeah, I think the breakout session was good. I told Prof I admire him from afar. It was good to speak with him, and it was nice to also choose like the breakouts whom you want to join. So yeah, overall it was good.
Excellent. Thank you so much. PSM.
Okay. I also concur with the speakers that have just given their opinions. The breakout rooms were really great. We had time to discuss our personal issues and fears and everything, and we got to get direct responses from our mentors. And I would also suggest that if you could probably allocate more time for the breakout rooms. And then another thing that just came to my mind was probably we could have like a Google document where before every session we can probably forward some topics that we would like to discuss with our mentors, and then they can be able to sort of like prepare for those discussions, or gather some information around those topics. I think that would help as well.
Excellent. Excellent. I've written them all down. These are great suggestions. We are very grateful to you for the direction, right? We see that the breakout sessions are more important, so we'll allot more time to it. Thank you. Any more thoughts, any more feedback?
I have another observation.
Okay, go
Yeah,
ahead.
these guys. So the other question I would be asking, because today we all came out and we had a chance to get to know each other on a very general basis. And so the question back to this young the group is, today we had a chance to share our stories, which is very important. But I know when I try to go back, if I'm in my 30s and sitting on my grandfathers and my uncles, and I remember sitting at the table and they'll give me a lot of advice, but I always felt like either they weren't listening to me, I didn't have a space at the table. I had fresh ideas that I wanted to present, but I was shut down. I had so many things I wanted to share. So we want to make sure that are we also giving you solutions? And I know we can't do it in this first setting, but ultimately, hopefully, we're giving you solutions. And more importantly, that we're getting from you fresh ideas, digital fluency, and things that, at least at my age, I know my chat GPT, I'm trying to keep up, but that this is also happening going back and forth from mentee to mentor.
Excellent. Yeah, that is a great point, and we'll take that into consideration. Maybe one day we'll do a reverse mentoring session where we'll pick four of the mentees to come share something they feel an adult should know, or like the mentors should know, right? Maybe something on AI or something on technology or how business is going in the future. So I think it will be excellent, and we just have to keep showing up. We promise to give you as much value as we can. So just keep showing up. Dr. Ambora, I saw you had your hand up. Please be our last speaker, and then maybe we can close out. Unmute yourself and go.
Yeah, it's on mute.
Yeah, hi. Uncle Shamu, it's me. Thank you for this session. And I agree with the previous speakers. I think more time should be allocated for the breakup sessions. Uncle Ed, thank you for that wisdom you gave on the couple planning and building career and then the family together. It came at a timely minute for my home. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mrs. Simbura.
Well, Kwame also talked about in his speech that family is if you don't do that, then so I don't think I did it alone. I think I did it in concert with my brother Kwame.
Yeah,
I came
we
in
joined late, so
I heard you.
we missed that.
Yeah.
Okay. We also had a comment in the chat saying, can we have focused group discussion? Because I wanted to be in almost all the breakout rooms. Dia has fear of missing out. She has FOMO. Right. But she said today was general and great. So, yeah, thank you for those comments. We'll incorporate that going forward. Maybe at some point we'll have just one mentor talking to all of us, or we'll keep going. But again, it's your direction that we are going to work with, because we want it to be valuable to all of you. So feel free to bring these suggestions and comments out. Hey, I know we've gone over. Just stay in touch. You will learn about when and where our next one is, so that you can join. In the future, when this grows really well, we might have in-person sessions, right? Maybe a convention in one of the cities, and we all come together and see our mentors in person, right? And then be able to connect better with them. Thank you guys so much for showing up, but a special thanks to our mentors for being here. We know your time is very, very valuable, and we really appreciate you being with us. Thank you all. Have a great week and stay blessed. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Let me know at some point if you're going to be doing a debrief.
Absolutely. We'll connect on our page and talk.
Yeah, okay, good. All right. Thank you, gentlemen. Enjoyed all of you. We'll connect on LinkedIn as well.
All right.
Thank you. All right. Take care.
Bye-bye.